Today we're gonna answer the question, does size matter? And if you're trying to match your bait fish, it certainly does. Introducing to you the Dual Realis Spinbait 70. How's it going, guys? Travis here from Tackle Bros. And today I'm extremely excited to bring to you the newest size in the Dual Realis Spinbait lineup in 70. We're gonna talk about why this is such an important piece to your spy baiting puzzle. If you guys know anything about me, you've probably heard me talk about it a million times. Spy baiting is one of my all-time favorite techniques, something that I've spent a long time getting better at, kind of trying to master it, if I'm being honest with you, as up here, it's one of the most effective ways to catch fish year-round. This is not just a cold water technique like it was originally presented as. This is turned into, if you don't have one on your deck, you're probably making a mistake. Now, with Duo, they make a ton of different sizes already. You know, they have the 60, 62, 72, 80s, 90s, 100s, and then we're gonna slot in here with the 70. Now, this is not to be confused with the 72 Alpha, which is more of a fatter shad profile. It's also weighted completely different, meant to be thrown on bait casting gear. This one is designed for finesse. So this is, you know, your 5-pound line, medium light to light rods, ultra finesse spinning stuff for those fish that you need to kind of downsize everything for to trick to eat. Why is 70 necessary? Well, up here in Canada, you know, northern US states, in the Greatlakes regions, our bait does not have a full 12 months of growth. It'll generally have, you know, 5 to 7 months, depending on, you know, that year's weather, how much summertime, warm weather we have, how quick the ice comes in, shuts things down. Our forage doesn't have the same amount of time as, you know, Florida and Texas does to grow these bigger fish. That's why, in general, you know, the 10-pounders live down there, and we kind of scrape by with 5, 6, 7s most of the year. So I went fishing with Duo maybe a year and a half ago, and while we were fishing, we were discussing spy baiting, which is obviously a huge part of their business. And I kind of brought up to them a couple of things that I would love to see in a spy bait. The 70 size was, you know, one of the main focuses of our conversation, and I explained to them why having, you know, this type of profile was important to this region of, you know, North America. I'm gonna break down to you why this weight and this size is good, and then we'll go into some colors and all that type of stuff. I pushed for this size because obviously match the hatch. So now Duo, I feel, has a full range of this profile in each size. So 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 in the regular minnow profile of bait. The biggest key to this with me was the weight. Now, when I was fishing shallow flats, I always found that I would kind of, you know, migrate to another spy bait. It was a little bit lighter. I could fish it a lot slower. Duo has perfected the weight in this so well that you don't need to look anywhere else. If you're a big spy bait guy, Duo completely has you covered. This is gonna force you to slow down. With the 80 size, I mean, it's phenomenal. Like, I have no complaints, other than at times I felt I was almost moving it a little bit too fast for me and for the fish. And with this one, with the, you know, 8.5 grams as opposed to the 11 grams or 10 grams, depending on G-fix or non-G-fix, I can keep this where I want it and move it a lot slower, which is gonna help me get a little bit more bites. Now, with the 80 size and the other sizes, it has more of a rounded body, still a bit flat on the side. This one is ultra flat on the side. So what that's gonna help do, you can kind of see it there. It's gonna have a lot more flash while this is rolling through the water. These baits don't do a lot as far as, you know, action or noise or anything like that. So any little thing you can add, like that little bit of flash, is gonna help. Obviously, the propellers are sending out micro vibrations and things that are, you know, attracting the fish more naturally. If you're fishing for sight feeders like smallmouth and very clear water, that's just gonna be an extra little feature for you to draw them in. For you forward-facing sonar guys, this has been designed and weighted to have a level fall rate while you're pitching for fish that you're seeing on LiveScope. So you pitch this out there, it's gonna shimmy fall down nice and flat, and then you can start the retrieve to kind of get those fish that you can't visually see with your eyes, but you can see, you know, 30, 40, 60 feet out on scope, that's gonna be a huge draw for this guy. They've knocked this one completely out of the park for me. I'll show you a little side by side with an 80 so you can really understand the size difference, because 10 millimeters doesn't sound like anything. I know, like when we were talking about it anyways, it didn't sound like it was going to be a huge deal, but when you get them side by side, you can see. So the top one there is the 80, the bottom one is the 70. It is a substantial size difference. And then the really big change I noticed was actually on the width. So if you look at the back profiles, you can see this is the 80. It's quite a lot fatter than the 70. This is just gonna pair up nicer with the bait fish up here. Let's talk hooks. So with the 80s, you're generally looking at a number 8 hook. With this guy, they went with a number 10, which is the same as they use on the 60s. Duo makes an amazing proprietary hook. This is one of the only baits that I use in any facet that I don't switch the trebles out on. I love these hooks. They're very durable, they're very sharp, they keep fish pinned. No need to change the hardware out on this. Something to consider though with the downsized hook size is gonna be your line. With the other sizes, the 80s, I'm generally fishing on 7 to 8 pound test. With this guy, you're gonna wanna be in that 4 to 6 pound test range. You can use similar rods, something 7.6 medium light to light. It's still gonna have amazing castability. Here's the thing, okay? You think 5 pound line, you catch 6 pound fish, it's not gonna work out. That's not really the structure of how line works. If you have your drag set right, you're using the right rod, you're not gonna have a problem catching a 7 pound fish on 5 pound line. It's gonna be based on your setup and how you utilize the tools that you have. If you're using the wrong rod, it's not gonna work. This is one of those techniques where you really need to have the rod dialed in. That's why I'm always recommending, the Felissa, which is a great one. The NRX 901, that's gonna be an amazing one for this. That new Zillion, that 7.6 medium light, another amazing rod for this. You want something with a nice tip, but you also need some parabolic into the back just for that treble hook. Let's go into colors. So this is gonna be available in 15 standard colors. I'm gonna touch base on some that I think are important for this region. You guys in the South, you guys know what colors you like. This applies in the South. At some point of the year, your bait fish is this size at some point in the country. North, it's always pretty much this size. It doesn't get much bigger than these. But if you're, down in the Ozarks, maybe earlier in the year, this 70 size is gonna be a key player for you. Same with further down the south. And then as the year progresses, you just kind of up your spy bait size based on the growth rate, and you'll see the bait in the water and know how to size it. This color right here has become the #1 color in the store. This is Ghost Gold Perch. So this is that gold perch. They ghosted it, phenomenal. They knocked it out of the park. One of my favorite colors the Duo's ever come out with. Again, I'm not gonna talk about them all. There's 15 of them. I'm just gonna highlight a couple that I know you guys will be excited about. We're gonna see Gold Perch, which is the older brother to that Ghost Gold Perch. This is another new one that was recently added to the Spinbait lineup. This is gonna be Ghost Wakasagi. So this is a really nice natural color with a lot of purples and pinks and yellows in it. It looks like a lot of bait fish, so definitely check this one out. We're gonna have Smoky Bone, staple white color. Ghost Gill. There's a bunch of gill colors in here, which I'm really happy to see because that's the type of thing we're trying to imitate. That was a lot of information. That being said, we're gonna start doing some content on the water for this stuff. If you guys have any questions about spy baiting at all, please leave a comment down below. I'll be happy to answer all the stuff. This is something that I'm really excited about. I'm very passionate about spy baiting. I mean, you could probably tell by this video. Definitely go check out the Spinbait 70 online. Come in the shop, talk spy baiting with us, and I'll talk to you guys later.